Welcome to the Rec Room Podcast. Y'all know the drill. We got everybody in here early tonight. AG
Hello. How's everybody today?
was good.
What's going on?
I'm ready to load up this music. Everybody calling in so fast.
Hey, man, we're excited to be here already.
That's what's good, man. How the week going?
Good, man. How about everybody else?
Good.
T Streets.
What's good?
Feel like I'm back home. This is lovely.
Yeah, man.
Back in.
Hey, I ain't never seen y'all get on this fast. Good, crazy. What's going on, man?
AE.
Y'all stop playing with
Has your goat ever come into the room this time?
Hey, I'm not even gonna bring up his name. I ain't gonna say
dude.
that.
y'all
Go, man.
y'all are hilarious, bro.
Orlando, what's good, man?
What's up, playboy?
Not
What's
much,
up,
man. I'm loading
I'm
up
just
all
over
this.
here, man. Just finished my little workout, you dig?
I ain't even get to work out today, man.
Nah, I did the home joint with the punching bag and all that.
Okay. Long as you got it in, man.
I was in here with the kids, man, cooking, man. It's up being a single father, dog. Single fathers.
Hey,
You starting that again?
You trying it,
out to
bro.
all the single
You
fathers.
trying it, man.
Dog, single fathers, dog. We got it rough, bro.
We do have it rough. I agree.
You trying
Oh, you too, Alex? Oh,
AG, no.
Hey, listen.
AG,
Hey, look,
no, bro.
both of y'all about to be sleeping in that car tonight. That's what's about to happen.
Hey, man, that joint reclines. The heating, air conditioning is lovely.
Y'all gonna
Nah,
be sleeping right in that car. So.
How was everybody week though, bro?
Man, good, man. You know, I was a little under the weather,
Oh, no.
and I'm getting I'm getting better.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey. Speaking of that, you know, Biden said that if you want a Podbean platform, you gotta get your booster shot
Man,
to have a show on Podbean.
Hey, I guess we gonna be all Podbean. I ain't getting no booster. I'm done with all that shit. None
Hey,
of that.
bro, but
on
I
that.
was
They
good though,
fooled me
dog.
once.
You know what I mean? I was
Fooled me
talking to
once.
AG about like whenever like I used to travel, I would always come back sick. But luckily, I was in Philly last weekend, waiting in Max's long ass damn line for 2 hours for a goddamn cheesesteak. But I came back home, bro. I was alright. You know what I'm saying? I finally, I held it together. But I think that's from the fasting that I be doing. You know what I'm saying?
think
'Cause, yeah, bro, dog. When you fast, it's nothing for the virus to really latch on to because it's no food in your system.
Okay,
You know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you.
So that's how I really, you know what I mean? That's how I really survive and all that.
That's what's good.
So,
Boom.
yeah, bro.
So, welcome to the Rec Room Podcast. This is our episode number 28.
Smash.
You got me as your host. I go by E1. We got T Streets.
yep.
We got Trez Philando.
That be me.
And we got our man AG back in the building, man.
International
Finally.
AG.
Back
Hey,
to
man, listen.
customs.
These
Back to
passports
customs,
ain't
you
going to
dig?
stamp themselves, man. These passports don't stamp themselves, man.
We got AG
It's a
back in the
collection.
building, bro. So,
Ah, man, we had to pay
what's
that.
the title of this episode, Trey?
Yo, the name of this one is called Once Upon a Time in America.
Once Upon a
About to
Time in
murder this
America.
one.
Yeah, so before we get into that, we're going to talk about some current events. But
Let's get
before
it.
we even do that, I just want to say tomorrow will be the my 11-year marriage anniversary.
Wow.
And
Ooh.
so,
Clap it up.
yeah,
Clap
yeah,
it up.
I think that's dope.
Clap
That
it
is
up,
beautiful.
bruh.
And I just want to get this message. A lot of people, before I got married, would tell
Talk
me,
about it.
when I told people that I was getting married, every guy would be like, look at me like, damn, it wasn't a whole bunch of that's what's up and congratulations. It was feeling like, it felt like people felt like it was like a death sentence. That's how guys
You
act.
about to go to jail.
And so
Right.
I just want to say that if you find the right person and you get married for the right reasons, marriage is a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that because I'm living that, so I'm blessed. So Yeah, I'm gonna
Man,
speak. I'm gonna speak about
congratulations,
it
dog.
like that. You
What a
know what I
blessing.
mean?
Like, keep us updated, like, on what it is to be married, bro. Cause one day I want to find
I
that.
know, bro.
I want to find out.
That ain't good.
Nah, keep us updated, dog. Like, on, like, the marriage journey. You dig? 'Cause, I
Okay.
mean,
I'm
like,
still
'cause
married.
one
You're gonna
day,
be jumping on the
one
calves. I'm
day,
still
I want to
married.
find that. I want to find that special one to help me take care of these damn
Being a
kids.
single father is
You
difficult.
dig?
You know, very
But
difficult.
the dope part,
Excuse me.
the dope part about E's anniversary is my anniversary is the day after his anniversary.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
But
11
you're a single
years.
father, man. How you doing?
No, I'm
That's
no.
a
So
beautiful
it
thing.
would have been. It would have. I said it would have been. It would have been
Would have been.
my
Come on, bro.
11th
If it wasn't for the fact that
Playboy.
you are a single father.
You dig?
And
You
another
dig?
thing I want to do is welcome AG back, man. You've
Hey,
been missed, bro.
It's
Hey,
gone
man,
like
I miss
5 months,
everybody.
man.
And we're gonna
back
get
home.
into a little
I'm back
later,
home.
where he was when he was gone. We're gonna get into that later. But the first thing we're gonna talk about.
Before we get into that,
Please don't say
Here
a
we
person's
go.
name. Please, bro. Go ahead. What you,
nah. Did Trey didn't tell us how his weekend or week has been?
Right, he asked.
He asked. I
Dog,
don't remember
But
the
he didn't
update from
give
him.
any info.
yeah. Go ahead, Trey. How was it,
dog.
bro?
First of all, Philly has too many goddamn cheesesteak places. Okay, it's too much. No, you gotta listen. Simmer
You
this
gotta
shit down
relax,
about
Philly.
5 different. You gotta relax. So first of all, I went out there, everyone in rec room listener land. I went out there. I wanted to go to gyms. I had gyms a couple years ago. I love gyms.
Mhm.
Gyms had a major fire,
Mhm.
right? A major fire. So one of the people in the comments said, "Pay up next time," which was hilarious as hell.
Oh my
But
goodness.
actually, but but nobody was hurt in the fire. So anyway, I really
God.
wanted to go to gyms with the fire. So anyway, boom. I'm getting somewhere with this story. So I'm looking around like, yo, listen, this shit better be good wherever I go, because I really wanted to go to gyms. So I wound up going to Max's.
Yeah.
The next time I go to Max's, I'm going by myself. You dig? Because it's just an interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm used to it, but my kids ain't. You dig?
Yeah.
So next time I go, so I'm in a line for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow.
Right?
Dang.
I'm outside. I was outside for the first 45 minutes. Once I got in, once you get in, you got to go to another part of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where it got interesting.
Oh wow.
My wife doesn't eat beef or pork.
Oh wow.
Right? So while we in there, we hot, we sweating, we waiting on this goddamn cheesesteak and chicken cheesesteak. All of a sudden, a lady starts cussing somebody else out. I'm like, okay, I'm used to this. Can we hurry up and get this shit moving? We about to order. You want to know what they say? We don't have any more chicken. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's 10 o'clock at night.
Standing that long in line.
Dog. But hold on. They ran out of chicken at 6 p.m. They just never told nobody.
Damn.
Right? So, Nikki got on the Googles. She found Delisandro's. After we got my joint, went over to Delisandro's. And when I tell you that Delisandro's has the best chicken cheesesteak on the face of this earth.
Oh.
So whenever anybody, I told you I was kidding. Whenever y'all go to Philly, bro, the cheesesteak is bomb there, but the chicken cheesesteak is better. It's better. So I had to give a cheesesteak update. You dig? Other than that, went to a fantastic baptism. My little nephew was baptized there. Fantastic. Beautiful. Had the family there. Had a great brunch. Came back Sunday night. You know what I mean? Everything was beautiful.
A great week, bro.
You know what I'm saying? The weather cooperated. It was dope. I'll definitely be going back, staying at the same hotel, which is right on the waterfront. It was just dope, man. That's the second time I've been to Philly in a long time, so it was dope.
I've been to Philly a few times. Matter of fact, not too long ago.
Okay.
But in the world of sports, you know, we kick it off with sports a lot of times, right? And Sha'Carri Richardson stamps a comeback win with the 100-meter world title, right? Mm-hmm. So this is from NPR. It says Sha'Carri Richardson ran past a heat of the fastest sprinters in the world Monday to win the women's 100-meter at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest.
Mm.
She ran from behind past Jamaicans Shakira Jackson and Shelly Ann Fraser Price, the defending world champion, to win with a time of 10.65, right? So she deserves a congratulations just because,
Absolutely.
one of the competitions she was running in, I think she got disqualified. Oh, no, she couldn't run because she tested positive
for the reefer.
Weed.
For that reefer. The weed.
And so,
and
she got herself together. She was winning like exhibitions, but this was the real one. So the crazy part is, right, that I'm looking on Instagram and stuff, and a lot of people were in the comments basically saying, yeah, she went in the exhibitions, but it's gonna get real when it's the real competition. They kept saying that she couldn't beat no Jamaicans. The Jamaicans were gonna win, and I don't even like why we pit each other against each other like that. Anyway,
right, exactly.
That's bullshit. But she ended up beating everyone,
both
man. I just think it's
dope. Both of the top Jamaican runners.
She did. It's a great comeback story. It just shows when you persevere what you can accomplish. I just think that's dope, man.
I just think, I like to celebrate that she won through action, right? Because I just think we're paying too much attention for people that have never done nothing, that will never do nothing, just talking. They're not qualified to share opinion of what a person is or is not going to do. Yes, they're not even good at their job at UPS. So how are you going to be criticizing
but they paid
someone?
Though. But they paid though.
Yeah, this is true.
They got that bonus last week, AG. They ain't trying to hear what you talk about.
hey, I bet you I get a percentage. Let's just say that. It's all about that percentage.
There you go.
Squeeze that percentage, right? But no, man, I like to see her win.
Right, bro.
And it's not fair that all these people attacked her. These faceless people attacked her. They don't know her. She's an athlete. And quite frankly, and correct me if I'm wrong, she's young.
She's super young.
So
and the only reason, go ahead, AJ. No, go ahead, bro.
No, it's just she's super young, so we got to have grace with these people. Her mom passed away, I think.
Yeah,
she was
medicating
point. Something that's not even out, like where she was, is not even illegal.
Right.
And then we're just jumping on someone like that. And I know on the podcast we talked about it before, and on the rec when we definitely support people, and that's someone we supported regardless of whether. The rules, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, she's human, and she's going to smoke a lot of people. No pun intended. No pun intended.
Hey, that was a good one, AJ. Came back with the jokes.
He actually just stole my joke. I actually just said it like 5 minutes ago. But anyway, the dopest part about it was just a comeback story because she was in it, but they weren't predicting her to win it.
Yeah,
they were.
Oh, she wasn't the favorite.
No,
man.
No, and that was the dopest part. And you saw like the shock on her face. All she did was just went out there and she just competed and she won.
Yeah. And the moral of the story is you should never give up on your goals.
Yep.
You may not reach them in the time frame that you may have planned for. You may quote unquote like they tried to say about her with the weed smoking, self-sabotage yourself. Yeah. You may do that. But if you never quit, you keep going, you refocus, you can achieve anything.
Yeah.
For sure.
Congratulations.
100.
Congratulations.
Man, let me ask you. Nike ain't leave her.
But you know what? When you win stuff like that, it's gonna be more abundant now. You know what I'm saying? That she gonna get even more.
Get it back in triplicate. Get it right back. Yep.
It's about to be crazy, bro.
And do y'all remember the Fire Fest thing? Fire Fest was this festival that was supposed to happen, right?
Hey, you went did you eat? Did you go out there for the first 2 days?
So I think it was like an overnight joint, like it was on an island or something.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess that it didn't happen, or something happened and people paid, and it was just a mess. I don't think it ever went down. It was a clown show, right?
Crazy.
So on this site called Entertainment, it says, we regret to inform you that Fire Festival 2 tickets are officially on sale, right? So it says Billy McFarland's stint in prison for fraud gave him the time to churn out a 50-page business plan to revive Fire Festival. And now you can buy tickets. In a YouTube video posted Sunday, the convicted con artist officially announced Fire Festival 2, set to take place in the Caribbean sometime at the end of 2024. The specific dates, location, and festival lineup has not been revealed, but tickets are currently on sale starting at $500, going up to $8,000. That's crazy. It says the big day.
Are you going back?
I never went the first time.
No, damn.
And I'm saying it's like he got locked up for fraud, and then he's coming out and he's getting ready to do it all again.
Listen.
Go ahead, T.
Listen. Go at your own risk, people.
People gonna go.
Yeah, they are.
Think so?
Yes.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course, this is the greatest promotion ever.
Hell yeah, they gonna
They're
go.
gonna be there. Yeah, social networks, bro.
The crazy thing about it, only white people can run a scam, get locked up for that scam, then come out of jail and be arrogant enough to do the scam all over again.
With new funding.
With new funding.
Because they're not gonna... Yo, did you hear about that fake billionaire? Same kind of story. She was a con artist that would stay in New York City.
Homegirl, yeah.
You know what
they made the special. Yeah.
They made a special on her. And people still are allowing her to run the same scams. This is amazing.
That's crazy. It say McFarland was released from federal prison in May 2022 after serving 4 years of defrauding investors and committing wire fraud.
Goodness.
In an inflated 2017 Fire Festival he launched with rapper Ja Rule, which had been branded as a luxury musical extravaganza.
Like that, bro.
Yeah, he got pulled. Man. He got pulled into it. You know, he was the most known name, so he got a lot of the flack for it, which is a little crazy, man.
51.
Ja Rule got up out of there. But listen, what if that shit pop off? What if it worked though?
It's gonna work.
That shit'll be crazy. Like, what if the festival is crazy?
Listen,
I mean, hey, for $8,000, it better be.
Y'all go to Fire 3?
Nah.
Listen, never. You know that was a beautiful time on the internet when Twitter and Instagram started getting those things popping off and started getting viral. Like, I was there watching it live, dude. Like, you started seeing people complaining about like sleeping on tents and their cheese sandwiches when they were promised
that's crazy,
5-star course meal, like 5-course meals. No, it was a beautiful time to be on the internet. I don't know if anybody hearing this remembers this, but do your research, man. It was hilarious. So people were just going on them.
So in the background, in his interview, he was talking about how the people that he had to pay like daily, like he said that he would wake up to this day. He has to find $4 million to pay by 1 p.m. This day, I got to find $100,000 to pay by 2 p.m. So he would just call and he would just lie to people to get the money. And then he said that he was so in deep that the investors that was giving him money was like, yo, we already into you for about $800,000. So we might as well give you another $100,000. That's how he kept getting so much money. Where this was able to go on for a couple of months until he couldn't keep coming up with money.
This man did 4 years, bro.
Yo, homie was
that's
insane,
a long time, man.
Dog.
Yeah,
but when he was younger, he had a business mind. He just didn't have the intelligence and the guidance. Like, he built that app when he was 12. Like so he had some type of intellect. Like, he built the app for his school when he was 12. The teachers shut it down. He just said he's one of those type of people where if you tell him he can't do it, he's going to overdo it. He's going to find a way to do it, even if he got to lie.
Yeah, but
right?
they say the lazy,
he's still getting funding.
The lazy work twice as hard, man. And that's a straight con game.
Yeah,
this man's a straight con artist, and people are still going to trust him.
Yeah,
that is literally the opposite of what you should do. He has a track record of doing the complete and utter opposite and robbing people.
Family and friends told him don't do it. He gonna do it anyway.
You know what I was going? I remember T Street telling me that Drake was his favorite artist of all time. And we were just wondering how that happened. I never do that. You know what I'm saying? I never do it, right? And so with that being said, it says with People magazine said Drake reveals that his son Adonis at the age 5 designed the cover for his upcoming album. It's called For All the Dogs, right? So it says Drake has released the cover for his latest album created by a 5-year-old, his son, For All the Dogs. Drake 36 captioned the post on Instagram on Monday. Cover by Adonis. The Toronto-born talented rapper added that the certified lover boy artist included his son's illustration. Now the illustration looks like I know you guys can't see it.
Oh, I'm seeing it.
But it looks like
Google that.
I don't know. It looks like a demon goat.
Like a found footage joint, like a found footage movie picture or some shit.
There's in Puerto Rico and Latin America, there was this thing called a chupacabra.
Okay. That's what I was talking about, chupacabra.
And if you just Google a chupacabra, but you know what? Yeah. Props to Drake's son for milking the system. I'm pretty sure, Drake, being a smart businessman that he is making someone pay for his son's art. So good looking out for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my son drew this in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it a buck, man.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
His son ain't draw that, man.
Hey, bro.
His son ain't draw that, man. He did a little something and got artists to go ahead and slice it up.
Yeah.
He ain't draw that, man.
He ain't draw that.
He ain't draw that, man.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Are y'all looking forward to the album? Is my question.
Yo.
I'm gonna let y'all say it.
Who didn't like the last album, Certified Lover Boy? I heard it.
I think it was dope. Is that the one with him?
That shit was dope.
Is that the one with him and 21 Savage or no?
No, that's
I can't listen to 21 Savage for more than 5 seconds. the one, it was like the dance album.
No, I didn't listen to that.
That shit dope. That shit is dope. T like it, right, T?
Yeah, I like the dance album after
hard, bro.
But I had to recalibrate my brain to knowing that it's a dance album. Yeah, because I thought it was trash when I first listened to it.
It was fly when I heard it. Cause y'all know I walk around with my shirt open a lot. You dig? I smell good. So that album, it went along with me as a person. So I was actually driving out of town, so I played it. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I like this shit, so I'm dancing. It feels like I can't say what I was about to say. It feels like you're in like a club in like the early 90s
or 80s, bro.
The early 90s, like
there's a lot of cocaine.
It's like one of them type of
cocaine
type of but it's dope though. Like it's dope. You should listen to it, bro.
I'm good.
Don't be afraid to dance.
No,
you know what?
You know what? Drake dope to me.
Drake is dope.
But that particular album.
Wow.
You know what I feel like? To me, a lot of his albums, he has good songs on there and songs that I don't like.
I totally agree with you.
And so by that being the case, I can't really say a best album.
I like So Far Gone.
He got a lot of songs.
His best album is a mixtape.
Yeah, I think So Far Gone was his best album.
It is. It is.
There's no misses. You can stop top to bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
Top to bottom. To me.
So T put me on to Drake with the mixtape, and AG put me on to Griselda, and my man E made me start listening to Nipsey. Happy birthday to Nipsey. His birthday was last week.
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday to Nipsey. So y'all three, y'all put me on. And T knows I don't like a lot of most artists. So those 3 artists, y'all put me on to them. You guys doing pretty good so far. You guys
whatever. I put you on to a lot more than that, but
you didn't put me on the Black Milk, T. I'm sorry.
I put you on the Black Milk, put you on the Common.
Oh God.
He about to run down the list.
Put you on the Kendrick Lamar.
Put me on the Nas.
Tier 2.
Nah, I ain't put you on the Nas.
He might say Nas next E.
I ain't do that.
Hey, y'all. Come on, dog.
Let's get back to Drake. Let's get back to Drake, though.
Yeah, come on.
Go ahead.
Listen, the album cover, cool. That's beautiful. Your son did it. He didn't do it. You say he did it. Whatever. That's fine. I could give 2 fucks about that shitty ass drawing. The music better be good. The music better be good.
Is that Pusha T?
That's all I care about.
Pusha T?
Oh, shit.
That's not T. That's Pusha T.
You say you don't care about the.
I don't care about all that shit. It better be good because your albums, just throughout the whole history of releases, your albums have been subpar to I.
I love the joint with him and Georgia.
You got some hot ass singles.
I love the joint with him and Georgia Smith though. I love that joint.
Oh, that like Caribbean sounding joint.
Listen, Georgia Smith is a national treasure and should be protected under all costs. Even though she's not from here, she's from the UK. God bless her. Yeah. There should be a Georgia Smith appreciation hour somewhere.
She must be all right. I'm had to Google her.
Whoa, hey,
Georgia Smith.
She must be all right.
Hey,
great talent.
What is it? 823. Hey, so y'all know that they allow like cell phones, like legally, they allow cell phones inside of women's like jail cells. Did y'all know that?
I didn't know that.
This is everywhere or what?
Yeah, well, it's in PG County. It's in PG County. And it's
How do you know?
How did I know it's PG County?
Because we got Pretty Reds in the studio.
Oh, for real, AG. That's what we doing.
No, because that's what Trey loves. PG County. That nudist bitch was in PG County, right? Nudist bitch he was talking about. Hey, talking about nudist beach for 20 years.
Hey, for 20 years. You ain't say beach at first. Hey, but look. Hey,
accents.
Hey, the reason why I said that was because Pretty Reds and she entered the studio.
Pretty Reds? You mean
Pretty
Sexy Reds?
No.
Oh, you talking about Pretty Reds in the building?
Pretty Reds, she in the building, but I was saying they get the phone in the cell between 8 and 8:30 p.m. I just wanted to shout out.
Okay, well since she in, I'm gonna do this one.
You did?
Oh, now we really in the rec room.
Oh, now we really in the rec room.
Cause she in the building.
And we got Donnie in here. Ooh, hey, we got Donnie in the. Hey dog, Donnie had the Donnie After Dark one night only show.
I heard it.
Dog, it was, bro. It broke the internet.
What?
I heard that. Joke.
Listen, but it was a one night only show. A lot of people tuned in.
That was dope.
Anyway, let's keep going, E.
Well, to keep it on music, right?
One night only.
So I know y'all remember this, right? So Irv Gotti, who is the CEO of Murder Inc., and he had artists such as Ja Rule and Ashanti were the most popular ones that you all would know, listeners would know, and he revealed. I don't know if it was on a pod or an interview that he used to deal with Ashanti. He was calling her on Drink Champs. He was calling her all type of bitches and just, to me, just out of pocket, just being extra, just really showing the type of dude that he is, in my opinion, right? And so Fat Joe has like a show or like this live thing that he does. I can't think of the name of it, but on one of those, even though that him and Irv Gotti are friends and cool with each other, he just basically called Irv Gotti out and was just saying that, that basically like that was some, that wasn't no man shit, basically.
Right.
And to do that is just being kind of ridiculous. But he also complimented saying, hey, Irv Gotti's a genius musically and everything like that, but you was out of pocket with that. So Irv Gotti was just recently on Drink Champs again. And when Fat Joe had said what he said that, Irv Gotti was his brother. And what Irv Gotti said was, Fat Joe is not my brother.
Correct.
For saying that about me. And basically, basically saying Fat Joe shouldn't have said anything by him saying that you're not really my brother. But what this brought up for me, in my opinion is, and my question to you all is that it seemed like to me that he feels like, to me, friends should be able to check each other, or friends should be able to call each other out. That's what a real friend is. So if you do something that is not, something that I feel is out of pocket, and I call it out, but I'm not being negative, how does that not make me your brother? I thought friends keep it real with each other. What y'all think?
Listen, if it's, I don't like anything about this gentleman, Irvin, or whatever his name is.
Irvin Lorenzo.
I don't like much about him, but he is 100% right in the sense that you have my number. We're friends. You can DM if you don't have my number. If you want to call me out or pull me to the side, that's what a friend will do. A friend does not broadcast your business out on the street for gaining clout. Fat Joe had no right to do that. As right as he was, he has no right, because that's your man. If that's your man, you don't embarrass your friend. You celebrate in public, you correct in private. That's the law. That's the rule, and that's it. When Trey was out there with extra baby oil with his shirt unbuttoned all the way down to the last button. I had to pull him to the side and say, hey, them hula girls are on you too hard. You can't, I can't do that in public.
You know what I mean? Let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what if Fat Joe felt like Ashanti's, you're my brother and Ashanti's my sister, but you called her out in public. Irv Gotti didn't text Ashanti and tell this or pick the phone up and tell her all this. He put their private business on Drink Champs and was calling her out of her name. So you don't feel that even though she did that, he did that, and he feels Ashanti is his sister. Maybe he felt like, well, since he did that in public, I'm gonna defend my sister in public. Nah, you still feel that was wrong?
Yeah, that's a bit. You don't respond to bitch move with a bitch move. You don't fight fire with fire. You can't do the same and think it's different because I'm the one that's doing it.
What you say, T Street?
I totally disagree with Alex. If you say some foul shit in public, out on the socials, on a podcast, then I have the right to blast your ass anywhere I want to blast you. I can call you and blast you. I can blast you on my live. I don't care. Like, I agree with T.I. when he did that shit to Wayne for saying that dumb goofy shit back in the day. So I'm all with it, but I'm with the shit. I'm with the shits all the time. I love to be ignorant. I love to be ignorant. Anybody out there that I love or that I hate, y'all want to say some ignorant shit? I'm with it.
True.
Trey, what you feel about it?
So basically, can you restate the question for me one more time?
So I was saying that. So my question is, we were just saying, AG was saying that he felt like Fat Joe was wrong to comment basically on a social platform about how he felt about what Irv Gotti was saying about Ashanti.
Right.
And I was playing devil's advocate, just saying that, well, maybe he did that because he felt like Irv Gotti called Ashanti out in public. That's my sister, so I'm gonna call you out on public. How do you think that he should have handled that?
So Fat Joe calling him a sucker means that Fat Joe feels that he's a sucker. And that's why he called him a sucker, because Irv Gotti knew what he was doing. And the other sucker move was how he blamed Nori for asking him the question that he responded to and then went on to answer for 15 minutes. Right? And the more he drank, the more he exposed himself, which was more of a sucker move. He wore her watch. So
that's what caused it. Yep.
Right. So he can talk about her watch. Yeah, the watch is
that's
dope.
what caused it.
Right. But you know who bought you that watch? You bought the watch there to cause that whatever it was. What he did not understand was, and he even said it, he was like, Beyonce got the beehive, Ashanti got her hive too.
Yep.
And they was tearing his ass up. And it's just something where he exposed himself as being over controlling, and she is still out here winning and looking like goddamn, oh shit.
Hey.
You see what I'm saying? Ashanti is out here looking like, you know what I'm saying? I can't
Milk
even say
does a body good. Milk
Bruh,
does a body
Ashanti
good.
out here destroying just with this she dog. And that bothers that bothers a man in his position, because ego is the enemy.
Now, you know what? I forgot, and this is like the biggest news, and I forgot it last week, but I'm not going to forget it this week. Former President Donald Trump, right?
AG people.
It says, his favorite guy, right?
Hey, man, he gets them pardons for 10 bands, pardon a week.
So it says, who's in the landmark Fulton County indictment? This is from CNN Politics. It says, former President Donald Trump and 18 of his allies were indicted Monday
18.
on Georgia state charges in connection with their attempts to overturn the 2020 election in the Peach State. These state charges were brought by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, an elected Democrat who has been investigating Trump's interference in the election since early 2021. Trump and others facing charges in the Georgia case are presumed innocent at this point in the legal process. Many of these defendants have vehemently denied any wrongdoing, and some have argued that they were seemingly trying to rectify rectified what they believe were serious irregularities that tainted the election. And now they give a breakdown on this of the indictment. I'm gonna let Trey take over.
So the indictments that AG people is facing.
Man, look, the Rico, man, the Rico.
Right.
I just got back in the country. Come on, man.
So
Not my people.
Real fast. This is a lot of stuff. Like it's ongoing, but we're gonna put a bow on in a second. So his indictments are so the first one is the people versus Trump in the state of New York for falsifying business records in relation to hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels, right? Also, United States versus Donald Trump, mishandling of classified documents, right? So, homie took documents from the White House, took them to Mar-a-Lago, then set a fire in the room and tried to act like shit got burned up. then they interviewed the IT dude that handled the cameras in there. He said, I don't know what y'all talking about. I can't answer those questions. He recently flipped and got a new lawyer. Trump gave him a lawyer. He left the lawyer recently, got a public defender and said, yo, I want to change my story. He had me delete that shit. You see what I'm saying? And then also indictment number 3 was conspiracy to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. Now, the only way you can prevent a president from running again is you have to find him guilty on the damn what do they call this shit, the January 6th, what do they call that, AG, what did they the word, AG,
the insurgency, like they try to
no the I don't know why I'm going blank, but look, I'm gonna go to number 4, insurrection.
Insurrection, that's the
right
point.
So that any that's actually been in the law for hundreds of years. That's the only way you can stop a person from running. You have to find them guilty of insurrection. That's why anything else, if that doesn't stick, he can still run,
right,
and he can still win, right? So the fourth one is conspiracy to use fake electors to overturn the 2020 presidential results in Georgia. Now that's why Fani is on his ass, because in her state, he called the governor and was like, can you find so and so amount of thousand, trying to shake down the governor. The governor was like, yo, we already counted the shit and you lost, right? And then so what he did was he went on to try to lie on these 2 poor females who've been counting these votes for years. It was a mother and it was a daughter. He actually had an IT dude doctor the actual video that makes it look like she was counting the same ballots for 3 hours.
Wow.
But the video was actually doctored. So in the phone call that he made to the governor of Georgia, he said this woman's name 18 times during the phone call. Now, what he was doing was he was really dog whistling out to his people to find her and press her out. So what happened? They sent a black woman to this woman's house. She sat down. She was acting like she was cool with her because she was black. Then she was like, listen, all you got to do is just admit that you doctored the actual ballots. She was like, but I didn't doctor it. They just now found them not guilty of doctoring ballots because it was false evidence. They just let this mother and daughter off. The woman was traumatized. People was coming to her house. She can't hand out no more business cards because of Trump's bullying tactics. But he's always done this. But he's always done it. But because people are in love with white men and white money, and that's what America is built on, he could slide with that. But if a Puerto Rican man does it, he's his ass up out of here. If a black man does it, his ass is up out of here. His ass need to go to jail, bro. Period. He needed to go to jail. He should have been in jail for all kind of other shit that he did, but he never got caught up on.
Well, what I want to know is with all this happening.
For him, no. AG gonna vote for him.
Hey, listen, what that man did to Puerto Rico, hell no.
Yeah, AG down for life with him. But my question is, no matter how we feel about him, right? My question is to y'all: Do you think that he's going to get? First thing, do you think he's going to do any time? I don't think so.
No.
I think so.
And do you think
I
that?
hope so, but I don't think so.
I think he will.
And let's say he doesn't.
That'd be dope.
Do you all say he's going to get reelected? I say yes, he is.
I think they're doing what they're doing right this minute, so he can't even campaign. Like, think about it. What was
he
it
don't need
recently?
to though.
I think
they're trying to stop it though.
They're trying to stop him. T,
bro.
I think T agrees with me on this. As much as he's up, there's too many people that DeSantis, there's Chris Christie, there's too many people that are junior Trumps that can take a little percentage of that because they're working it. You know what I mean? And then he wasn't in the debates. So
the only way Trump is not going to get reelected is if he can't run. Because right now, when they showed the poll of the Republican race, he's smoking. There's nobody close to that.
That's why he didn't show up.
Let me ask, did anybody ask you? Did anybody ask you who you would vote for? Where are they getting these numbers from?
AG.
I don't listen. I understand programming.
Iowa.
Like the next
you gotta
one.
live in Iowa. You gotta live in Iowa.
Okay. Have you been to Iowa?
Iowa and
people who live in Iowa don't even live in Iowa.
They don't even know that they're in Iowa.
Yo, do you know anybody that lives in Iowa? Don't worry, I'll wait. Name a city in Iowa right now. Exactly.
Damn. I should know one.
Des Moines.
Des Moines. There you go. There you go.
It's just because I'm well read. I'm well read.
No, that's the most popular one.
Exactly.
Check
the
out
only place in Iowa.
But check out how the game go. So they wanted to. They know that the insurrection can stop him.
Correct.
But they intentionally took insurrection out and put other more sophisticated indictments in because the insurrection is the hardest to prove.
Right.
So they don't want to mess up on not finding him guilty of that because it's going to make everything else look insufficient.
Right.
So they took insurrection out and they want to hit him with things that they know would damage him. Also, he was trying to get the trial to get sped up. So I believe he asked for November. Now it's October. Now, you had 10 days to file that motion. What he's trying to do is he wanted to push it back past the election. They was like, no. We're going to do this shit in October or we're going to do this shit in November. Yep. So look forward to really start because he wants a speedy trial. He also got rid of one of his top lawyers today and got somebody else. He got another guy in. Yeah, so he got some little moves where he's trying to wants to push shit out past the election because he wants to get in. He wants to get in the White House. So once he's president, he can pardon himself.
Look at that. It's like you throwing it to yourself. You throwing the pass. He's Mike. He's throwing the alley-oop.
He's throwing the alley-oop to himself, bro.
And let me tell you, that's a great strategy. But one thing I have learned since I was a kid, you do not go against the feds, and the feds have a very long memory. And what he did to the FBI and other alphabets within the government agencies, let me tell you, they're not going to let that man live.
Bro, you got one of the dum-dums that was riding for Trump that's sitting in jail right now.
Yep.
And he's a black dude. So you had 19 people, and 2 of them were black, and one of the only black people, his dumb ass is in jail. He ain't even asked for no bail. He just sitting in jail right now. You got dudes that was in jail and paid the bail already today. Like, this dude got so many people locked up, bro.
Yep. And somebody's gonna sing.
And they still going to jail.
Of course.
Hey, Trey.
Yo.
But Trump has a supreme team.
Yes,
type of. He had the chief of staff, a top Justice Department official, the Georgia GOP chairman of the Republican Party, several lawyers.
He put people on. 2
sellouts that you mentioned, specifically Harrison Floyd, the leader of the Black Voices for Trump. You sellout ass nigga.
Harrison
you need to rot in jail.
He locked up.
He rot in jail.
He in jail mother. He in jail like he hard. Nigga sitting in Fulton County jail. And when we do, let me tell you, once we get into the prisons and talk about that, bro, Fulton County jail, the history of Fulton County jail and the deaths and people dying with lice on them, and bro, that's a bad spot. And his dumb black ass sitting right in there for this man who don't get 2 shits about you. That's crazy.
Well,
let him sit there though.
Let's get into tonight's topic, right? And the title of the pod tonight is "Once Upon a Time in America." And we basically just themed that because we just was gonna talk about some differences with America and different countries. But before we want to get into that, those who are avid listeners, I know you all have noticed that AG ain't been in the building for a few pods, right? But AG has been out of the country, man, and he has some informative news about his trip, about where he went, and I'm gonna just let him take over from here.
Man, I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you. And shout out to everybody because I really did miss everybody, my fellow brothers that we do the pod with, the listeners. It's a community that I feel and see is growing, and I'm appreciative of everybody who takes a part of this. Whether you're listening, you participate, you're on a chat, you listen to it later on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to this podcast. Thank you. We all appreciate it for getting this information out. And as always, we're people who are living life that most people typically don't live. So to give you some background, I tend to travel a lot, right? One of the best investments I've ever made in my life was acquiring a passport. I've had the great pleasure of pretty much visiting every corner of this country, from Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, California several times, Dallas, Texas, Miami several times, New York, everywhere you can possibly go in this great United States I have been to. And I have also had the pleasure of going to places such as Canada, Mexico, South America, and soon on the Eastern Hemisphere. That's coming up real soon. And I'm looking real forward to sharing those stories. But where I went to recently for 2 weeks was Ecuador.
I've been to Mexico, bro.
Hey man, it's a beautiful thing.
Hey man, and I was in the Bahamas. And I was in the Bahamas.
Yeah, Bahamas. Okay? Shout out to the Bahamas. Yeah, shout out to Nassau. You know I don't like y'all food. You're good.
And
people.
I be in Queens. And I be in Queens. So go ahead.
Yeah, Queens too. Astoria, Jackson Heights. But listen.
Queensbridge Project.
Nas did.
Hey, go ahead, y'all. Y'all
I can see waves. Go ahead. Swimming from here.
You was really interrupted, man. Go ahead,
man. He punching the air right now.
Hey, man, that's what we do. We have ADHD here. But ultimately, what it is, I'm going to share my experience, right? So I'm from Puerto Rico, which makes me a U.S. citizen, right? So my passport is blue. My wife is a U.S. citizen, but her nationality, where she's from, born and raised, is Ecuador. So we were down there for a baptism, even though I didn't have to wait 2 hours to go get some cheesesteak. I was there for a baptism, and also I was there for a wedding. Now, on another note, I was there really to be around family. So my wife's family is extremely deep in Ecuador. Like, I've always been around people that have great big families. I personally don't have a united big family. So when I go down there, I always trip out that there's so many of them. You know what I mean? There's so many aunts, uncles, cousins, everything is it's a beautiful thing, right? And I enjoy going outside of the U.S. because there's a lot of great things outside of the U.S. And one of those was an opportunity to possibly invest in purchasing raw, farmable land and an apartment in a city that's called Cuenca, which a lot of retirees are headed to, or even digital nomads are heading to, because your money really works for you. So to give you some background, Ecuador is a country of 18 million people in South America. It's right next to Colombia and Peru. So it's right under Colombia, right above Peru. Has coast, it has mountains, right? Beautiful country. It also has a lot of natural resources. So mining is big down there, and so is food. So a lot of your food, let's say bananas, for instance, if you see bananas, they're typically either from Costa Rica or Ecuador for the most part. Ecuador exports a lot of shrimp, a lot of other foods as well. So just kind of give you a background. Spanish-speaking country, has a lot of very, very strong indigenous population as well. So enough with the background, right? Ecuador has always been a great place. It takes the US dollar, very laid back, very chill, and your money really works for you. When I got married down there, I was also there for 2 weeks. So it was like we brought people from the US down with us, and they had an absolute ball. And you really can live a different kind of lifestyle down there for not that much money. So what you normally would spend with friends, like on a weekend out, you can stay there for 2 weeks and have a luxurious stay throughout the whole way. And you can see everything from the mountains to the coasts and everything in between, right? They have places like Cuenca, Montañita, Salinas, just to name a few. So do your Googles on them so you can get an understanding. Quito, Guayaquil. I'm telling you, worth it, right? So what's different now is when I went down there this time around was with opportunities of investment and to be with my family. Now, here's what I encountered. Right before I went down there, I saw that one of the cities, Manta, had a mayor that was assassinated in broad daylight. I felt that was kind of odd. I was like, let me do some research on it. Then I start seeing that Ecuador has been in a lot of trouble recently because there was a time where during the pandemic, things didn't shape out so well. And the Mexican cartels that have been there for a while started increasing their presence. Why that's important to know, the drug money is there in Ecuador, along with the war going on. When a high ranking individual within that whole scheme of things was assassinated in a restaurant. So a mayor was killed in broad daylight with a shooter or two on him. You don't touch city officials. When you start crossing that line, that means one of two things. Either there was either police or someone lined them up, or everybody's on the take.
Because in the video, AG, it was police that was right there when they started. It was right there.
So, and that's the mayor of Manta. So when I was about to go down there, I was actually talking to my wife and saying, hey, because of the situation with the killings, there's an extreme situation with kidnappings that are going on right now where people with money are getting what's called a vacuna. They're getting, extorted. Like, you give me $100,000 in cash and I'm going to leave you alone. And this your little transportation business doesn't get the fire. So when, Trey originally made that joke about the Philly spot. Hey, they should have paid. That's really going on down there. Another thing that's going on is kidnappings. Another thing that's going on is like little dudes rolling up on you 6 or 7 deep with AKs and AR-15s, military issue, running up and kidnapping people left and right. And they're also running up on restaurants, 3 or 4 dudes on an open air restaurant with 30 or 40 people and clearing everybody out for their cell phones and cash. And that's actually has become normal. And I've sent a few people some video footage of the issues that Ecuador is facing now, because along the same time that this is happening, Venezuela, which is, the country where my father and my part of my family is from, has been running into issues with inflation where everybody's leaving the country because their money doesn't mean anything. Like, it just doesn't, you can't buy anything. And then people are leaving. Why I'm mentioning that is because in Ecuador, they're having a large influx of Venezolanos, and not everybody's playing by the rules. So now you have this presence of what they think that what's raising the crime is Venezolanos, which actually isn't really much the case, but it's easy to point the finger at my people, unfortunately, right?
Right.
But ultimately, what really is happening is there's a large presence of the drug game. There's cartels down there making it happen. There's Albanians, amongst other things, trying to control Ecuador. Now, while I was down there and I was getting made fun of all this, Brother Ali shook. Oh man, I thought you were from here. I thought you get busy. What happened? Why are you so nervous? And the reason I'm eyes up, antennas up, up and down the street, knowing where everything is going on, because I have 2 daughters and a wife I need to protect.
You got kids, bro.
And I'm naked out there. I don't have anything in my waist. So I'm obviously going to be very cautious in the way I move. They kill a presidential candidate.
With no problem.
And now, I don't remember the last time the U.S. ever had to face these issues, right? So, again, like Ecuador as a country, 18 million people, all of them are legit, beautiful, great people, but they're going through their issues right now. They're not the only country that are going through their issues. Unfortunately, I see Ecuador is going to probably encounter the same problems that Colombia did a decade or so ago, or for a while now, where the drug trade started getting involved. Because right now in Ecuador, you got problems within the government that's corrupted and paid off. You got the police, and you have all the outside entities and businesses that are getting squeezed. So it's not looking good. It ain't looking good.
I got a stat, AG, with that I had to read a couple times about Ecuador. It says the country's national police tallied 3,568 violent deaths in the first 6 months of this year. far more than the 2,042 reported during the same period in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
The year that year ended with 4,600 violent deaths, the country's highest in history, and doubled the total in 2020 from 2021.
Yep.
That causes all complex, although revolve around cocaine. It
Mm-hmm.
says cartel aided gangs are
Mm-hmm.
battling for control of the streets, prisons, and
Prisons.
drug
Yep.
and yo, they said in those prisons, it's certain places that the police don't go and the guards don't go in certain parts of the prisons,
Mm-hmm.
right?
They
And then
found a
so
rocket launcher in the prison.
bro, they said cartel aided gangs battling for control of the streets, prisons, and drug routes to the Pacific. Dwindling state coffers, political infighting, corruption, and soaring debts created funding gaps in
Mm-hmm.
social and law enforcement programs. The
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19 pandemic turned hungry children and unemployed adults into easy recruits for criminal groups. So that's how it grows so fast,
Mm-hmm.
because if the opportunity is low for me legally,
Mm-hmm.
if I could just get some money and get some food for my family by doing some dirt, whatever. One lady out there was like, she has to carry a fake cell phone with her
Mm-hmm.
because she was robbed 8 times in 2 years.
Well,
Like,
the article that I've read was saying that it didn't used to be like that there,
Nope.
and that was
Not at
one of the
all.
most peaceful places.
Agreed.
And so this seems like kind of recent. And then
4
also
years.
I saw where it was saying that they don't know who killed the mayor. Like they don't know what cartel may have done. At least that's what they saying
shit,
on that
crazy.
news station. I mean, that's what they putting out to the public,
I mean,
that they don't know.
I'll break it down like this to add on to what E said. I'm gonna let you get to it because I want to clarify that. So whatever I'm sharing is because I know, it's not because I think I know. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it, I lived it. I've been to Ecuador maybe 5 or 6 times, and I go there for quite a bit. Like they said, and everybody knows, right around 19, right before the pandemic, there were no issues. It was quite the opposite. It was peaceful. I mean, yeah, Guayaquil was hot, but it's a city. You know what I mean? Just like New York City is a city, just like Miami's a city, just like DC is a city. You got to be aware, right? It's the normal stuff. What I'm saying is that it has gone from mild to just extreme in a matter of 3 years.
Fast.
It's like Trey was saying, because there's so many immigrants coming from other countries like Venezuela. Even though it's not my Venezuelan people that are doing it, it's a cultivation of people not having. And then the Mexican cartels and others are coming up to people and saying, look, are you tired of, working for others and getting paid nothing?
Easy recruits.
And that's the same thing that happens here in the US in our communities.
It does. Yes.
It's exactly
absolutely
the same thing.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Except we don't have people actively coming from outside of the country. And that's the difference. We're doing it to ourselves essentially. And then we're distributing what they bring in. This is different. True. This is a little different. And the government is, let me tell you, the weird thing about it is, here, somebody goes into your property, and depending on what state you're in, somebody looks at you wrong. You can blow their head off, and you will get a handshake from the police. You will get a freaking commendation. They will be like, thank you. Better or worse, they will say thank you. They will find a stand your ground, self-defense, whatever. There, you can be 100% in the right, and they put you in jail.
So, AG, tell me this: when you were there, was it like were they telling you, "Hey, man, don't go here, don't go there, don't eat here"? Is it to that magnitude, or were you in an area where you were kind of safe?
Well, I would say this, because I was with family. I was everywhere. I gotta admit something. I was everywhere. I went from Guayaquil, Machala, was in Cuenca, was in Saruma. I did a tour of the place with my children and my wife. You know what I mean? Because that's where the family is. It's just like here, right? There's certain places we go and frequent because those are where you want to be. Nobody actively goes, hey, man, you want to go there because there's a reason to go there, even though you might get stabbed or shot. Those are not usually the places you want to go anyhow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
So like I was relatively safe, but you got to understand, I don't blend in out there. My wife and my kids, we don't blend in out there.
And why is that?
Well, you got to look at the genetic makeup of the natives of Ecuador, right? You have more indigenous features. Not only that, but native Ecuadorians, you can kind of tell by how a person talks and dresses for the most part.
AG, just say
yeah.
y'all rich.
Nah,
Say
no.
Say
Not
y'all
not
look
at all.
rich.
Not
You
at
look
all.
fly. You look
Not
like
at all.
Lorenzo Lamas from Falcon Crest season 3
Hey,
out that
season
motherfucker
3 up in this
with the
bitch.
motherfucking shirt open, with the hair
Hey.
slicked back, with the chain.
Hey,
Just say it. Go ahead.
I was
I'm sorry.
humble,
I didn't mean to
but
interrupt
let
you.
me tell you, like you,
In the
and
limo.
another thing, in all seriousness, right? And then I sent Trey a couple of videos so he
Yeah.
can see the poverty.
I
I
watched
don't want
it,
to
bro.
hear anything. If you're not if you're a listener, if you've never seen at a, let's say, what do you call them, peajes out here, toll road, where these heavy trucks are
yeah, that
going
shit was
through the
crazy,
toll road,
bro.
and on the ground you have a baby and their mom and other groups of people. I'm talking about no more than a year old on the ground where trucks are flying by, and I'm talking about on the actual lines, the dotted lines.
And they were doing hand to hands.
Yeah, everything was hand in hand. And because I recorded everything, I documented the whole trip. And I'm telling you, if you don't see that, and I've seen people in droves walking down highways just trying to get from one country to the other because they have nowhere to go. I'm telling you, I've seen levels of desperation that I don't think are seen here in the United States. So if you have electricity, you have running water, you have a roof over, you have clothes on your back, food on your plate,
you're winning.
You're winning. Because I saw a lot that didn't. So like, and also the big thing, I will tell you straight up, the whole time I was there, my eyes were open. I did not relax one bit. I had fun. I spent it with family. We were outside, but everywhere I would go, I would see armed security, armed guards, armed police, and they're not carrying your little baby nines like they do out here. I'm seeing shotguns, Uzis, heavy rifles out there, people in camouflage, masked up. You can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. Let's just say that.
AJ, also just to interject from what I read, from what you sent me, like if you are blessed enough there to be in like a nice neighborhood, like a gated community, it's like they don't want to come out their gated community.
No, they don't.
Because the downtown area that's kind of vibrant, from 100% of sales, commerce, they're down to a 10th.
Yep.
Of percent, because people are just wandering in the freaking streets.
Yep.
And there's so many robberies. It's like, they don't even want to come from where they live just to come into the town and shop or whatever.
Yep. No, and then another thing, like to kind of give you some background, what's really big out there, and again, just the weird things that stick out. Malls are huge out there. Like they're a big thing to do. Like,
wow.
And out here, I don't know where it is in your part of the town and in your part of this country, but around here, malls are going under. Maybe there's a handful of malls that are thriving and they're doing just fine. But the Amazon effect is real out here.
Amazon effect is super real, bro.
So you have the convenience of everything being delivered out there. Amazon doesn't exist, and I think Mercado Libre is like Amazon in South America. They don't do same day deliveries or next day deliveries. They don't have the convenience of products, goods, and services like we do.
So you got to leave and go get
physically go to the mall,
and
right?
that's scary though.
Yeah. But like just kind of get that breakdown. A lot of the conveniences that we have, they don't necessarily have, or they don't have that structure. Now, I can show you videos and pictures where you think I'm in Miami. And I can show you videos and pictures where you think I'm somewhere in Switzerland. Like legit. Guayaquil looks like Miami in a lot of places. Cuenca looks like I'm in Switzerland in the mountains somewhere where you see all this type of greenery and wildlife, and you swear I'm in Europe. But I'm not. You dig what I'm saying? And it's amazing that this little country has so much biodiversity. The Galapagos Islands, the Amazon is there. There's a lot of great in Ecuador. But the one thing I can tell you, when I was down there, I was like, I definitely need to invest here. I want to buy land and I want to buy property in Cuenca. But right now is not the time, because I think they're going to go through it.
So just to add on to what you're saying, we were talking about those places where you would think that you were in Miami or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It says in 2021, this is right around the time where I'm thinking where it started to get super crazy. It says in 2021, Ecuador generated around 1.6 billion in US dollars in tourism. So
absolutely,
that like these these issues, these latest events, is gonna affect that number.
Yep.
But these countries, they thrive off of that. 1.6 billion
Mm-hmm.
in tourism. So if people are watching like shows like Democracy Now, or they're really investigating places before they leave,
Yep.
before they travel, that's going to be another thing
Yep.
that hurts certain places like Ecuador, who depend on that tourist money to come in.
And it's worth going. Like, I kid you not. Like, if
Got it.
this were ever to get controlled to the point where, let's say in 6 months, because they just had an election, they're doing a runoff right now. Let's say the proper leadership happens, and somebody like Bukele, which, going back how it all ties in and why we're doing this pod to begin with, is to educate you, the listener. El Salvador is another country in Central America that has a long history of war, violence, and gangs. MS-13 is one of those gangs that we're all familiar with out here, right? It originated from Salvador, California, right? In our DC area, it's the second largest Salvadorian community in the country. So we're tapped in. Now, El Salvador was a place where nobody would ever think of doing business or visiting, because they have President Bukele, who has cracked down on crime like you would not believe, and has cleaned up the streets. Now they're open for business. Now, when I was down there doing my connecting flights, I saw several international people there for business.
Okay.
And I'm like, I see it.
That's in El Salvador, right?
Yep. And if El Salvador can do it, bruh, listen, anything is possible.
So what was the method of policing there? Did they bring in outside people? This is why I'm asking you that.
Yeah.
Because in Ecuador, a lot of the police,
they're bought,
they bro. But the people who are actually trying to fight crime are the people who get undercut as far as the funding.
Yep.
It's a lot of police people there, where they got to depend on the community to give them money for gas for the police cars.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
There's certain instances of that.
You know what, AJ, I wanted to know, like, what's the you know how like some places it's either there's no middle class, you either wealthy or you poor. Right. Is it like that there, or is it?
It depends, man. Because a place like Guayaquil, you have a lot of rich folk, right? But then you have a town right next over that I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to bring it down, but it's also known as being one of the hot towns. You know what I mean? It's like really hot. It's not that you don't see $1 million homes, but in parts of Guayaquil, you see where you see the wealth, you see, and honestly, like in Ecuador, it's very hard for you to, or anywhere, like in a lot of countries, and I don't know if people mention this or if you're aware of this, but in the United States of America, you can come here one day, not have any contacts, not know the language all that well, and you can, within a very short amount of time, make it. You can sit there, get a job. You can even become self-employed. You can own your own business and even hire people. You can do pretty much anything and everything because you're allowed to do so. You just have to know how to navigate through it, right? In other countries, unless you're connected, unless your family comes from money, you're probably not going to gain it. And that's what makes this country so great. So to your point, there is a middle class. It's just not as pronounced. So there are certain places where you're either very rich or very poor. But what's interesting is the level of generational wealth that I came across when I was in Ecuador.
Okay.
That's what shocked me, that I haven't been around people that are that established, that my grandfather was this, my great grandfather was this. They can trace back their lineage or history. They have, you know what I mean? They're living very good lives. They have family homes that they all converge at on Sundays. And that's another thing, right? Because I need to talk about the beauty of things, and what drove me and why I've always encouraged people to travel and know where your roots are from. Because let me tell you, I have a lot of great people that are from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Senegal, and other parts of South America and Central America. I always encourage people to reinvest in where you're from, which was the whole point of me, additional point of me going to Ecuador, right? But what's interesting, right, is the opportunity where you get to be around your own people, things that, people look like you or people speak the same language as you. You don't have to apologize for being yourself, right? And you're seeing people from every point, top to bottom, running things. And it really is a shame that something like this that's going on with the corruption is happening.
Yeah.
What's sad, and it makes me appreciate when I got back to the US, is this. What we think is going on out here and what got everybody really paranoid and acting real funny, and why everybody's under pressure and why everybody's stressing out, what we think is happening out here really ain't happening out here. It's happening elsewhere. So when we all have this fear that somebody's going to come into our home and kidnap us or yank us from when we are walking outside, or somebody's going to do something to us, or these people going to run up on us, or this, that, and the third, or we don't have food security, or we're going to lose our job, all this other shit is really happening in other places. And I was in a country where that's actually happening. You know, I'm sitting down, you know, talking with family members or people, and, you know, they're giving me stories how somebody tried to kidnap them. They were robbed for their phones at gunpoint, you know, things like that. You know what I mean? And out here, we don't have that story. Not a lot of us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some people have it. Some people have it. Just luckily.
Not as common.
No.
Not like,
no,
you know,
hell no.
I'm talking about something that may have popped
Not
8
in this
years
area.
ago. You know what I mean? Not like when you're walking down the street and, man, this again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, like, we gotta. So even though I think that it's important to reinvest in where we're from, there was always this push for me to be like, you know what, I'm done with the US. Let me sell my house, sell the cars, sell everything. Let me go live in a country where I can buy an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment in a great city for $60,000. And living expenses per month, now that I don't have mortgage or rent, living expenses like $300 or $400 a month, and I'm living well, like genuinely well. That was the plan. It was like living like semi-retired. I can work remote, get paid whatever, and it's all savings, right? And just start investing in raw land and growing coffee, let's say, right? But the one thing you can't replace is peace of mind and safety.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can't put a price tag on that. And I know that it ain't perfect here. Do not get me wrong, everybody. It's not perfect here.
Okay.
But I tell you, the way I felt down there is much different than what I feel here. And what I hear people complaining about out here since I've been back is much different what I hear people living with. And it's different. Like right now, I grew thicker skin than I had originally, right? So also listeners, when they tell us that we should go back or do this, yes, I agree, but also we built something here.
True.
We built something here. We shouldn't be kicked out now that the shit is looking good. Now that everything is working like it should, we shouldn't give up our peace of mind because some idiots don't understand that we had a hand in this.
Hell no.
So I think we should appreciate what we have here, and we should defend it under all costs. Because let me tell you, yeah, we can go somewhere else, but do you really want to have to struggle when all the work has already been done? Because you've done the work here already. And the people before you done all the hard work.
Absolutely.
And if it gets goofy, let me tell you, there is a ton of land in the United States of America. Let's build communities. Let's reinvest in ourselves. We don't have to go anywhere. Let's buy raw land here. Let's plant something here. Let's sell mineral water here if you can. Like, just figure out ways that whatever you think you would do in a different country, and I'm not negating that you shouldn't. I'm just saying, maybe reinvest in ourselves.
That's a good message, bro.
So what you saying is, me and E, we shouldn't visit Ecuador next month.
Not next month. Not next month. But I'll tell you one thing though. Everybody should go and look up the cities like Cuenca, Quito, look up Guayaquil, look up Salinas, Manta, like dope places, Montañita, dope places.
AG. Whenever we go to Ecuador, we going with you. So
yeah,
we
going
together. We don't care about
AG said, hey look, AG said it like we just go, look it up and just go out there. No, bro.
Hey,
7 hours. 7 hour flight, bro.
Hey, AG, wherever we going, La Cuenta, I'm gonna have my shirt open. I'm gonna be wherever you at. and that's how we doing.
Hey,
that's what's up,
but I appreciate everybody listening though, for real.
That's some dope information. Bro. Go ahead and run it down, Trey.
Hey, check it out. First of all, anybody mess with this rec room thing, okay? Let me just, you know what? I ain't even gonna get too hyped. You dig? So look, This is who we got. We got Kairos in the studio. Thank you so much. We got Donnie, aka One Night Only. You dig, in the studio.
Hey.
You dig. We got Love __ in the studio. We got who else? We got some people. We got some people in here, brother. Hey, Donnie said that your reading was on point tonight.
Hey, I tried. Hey, look. I did get stuck on one word. I did get stuck on one word.
Nah, bro, you killed it. You killed it. Hey, bro, we got Millie in this joint. Y'all know Millie be on the show with us.
Hey.
We got Pretty Reds, fresh out the PG women's facility.
Oh, watch out.
we got Pretty Red. I told her I was gonna get her. Hey, Ladybug. We got our man, friend of the show, the super author, Darius the author, man. We gotta get Darius. We're gonna get Darius back on the show with us. We got Nicole Mayfield, who need to be in the bed sleep. She on here listening to what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? We got Mr. A. We got a brand new listener, Mr. A. What's up, Mr. A? In the studio with us tonight. We appreciate you. And listen, we appreciate everybody, man, for taking time. We're here every Thursday. We're gonna be shooting the in-person pods in September. So check us out, man.
Yes, sir. Thank everybody for tuning in. You can catch the pods. You can listen to the pod on anywhere pods are available. For example, Google Pods, Spotify, all of those places. But where we try to push everybody is to YouTube. My YouTube page is the Rec Room Pod. If you can, please follow us on Instagram at the Rec Room Pod. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any of that, just DM us. Also, the link to the YouTube page is on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram and you will see the link to the YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page. As always, we talk about the in-person pods, meaning that we will be having pods that will be shot on camera. The first one will be in September. We're looking forward to that. You all will be able to put voices with the faces. I'm excited about that. That's going to be dope.
Yes.
And just another thank you to everybody, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Hey.